please prioritize pooping. For those of you out there who ain't pooping, this is big. You need to poop. There's more to sickness than we thought. There's more to cancer than we thought. There's more to healthcare in America than we thought.
Why are we locked into a bubble? Dr. Gonzalez, appreciate you coming on today, brother.
Thank you, man. We've been working to make it happen.
For about a year now.
For about a year, but listen, sometimes the stars align, sometimes everything.
Hey, it takes a while for the magic to happen.
Boom, 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 the magic happened and we're here.
And I feel like this will be the first of many.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that.
Let's start off simple. What made you want to be a naturopath?
Ooh. Well,
because that's a very specific field.
It's a very specific field, right? Like there's, you could go into conventional medicine,
which we've seen a lot of doctors become DOs, MDs, right, but then also go get their NP. And I'm like,
exactly.
Why'd you guys go backwards?
Exactly. The consciousness was shifting around when I was making this decision. And this was back in 2006. And I could feel like people talking more about like health and wellness. And I knew in my heart of hearts, my alignment was, we got to get to the root of what's going on. And it happened. I would get strep every year.
Like clockwork.
Like clockwork, right after summer. Because I was like partying and, doing summer stuff.
Dropping your
drinking, of course, right? And I remember the one time the doctor didn't even look in my throat. She didn't even look at my throat. She's like, I just told her, hurts when I swallow, boom, antibiotics.
Z-Pack, whatever.
And the first time ever in my life, I questioned, are these kind of okay for me to be taking every single year? I went into research and I was like, oh, what's a microbiome?
You killed it.
I've killed it. I think I'm still recovering. And this is like
most doctors, something so simple, they don't even give you probiotics or tell you to get probiotics.
Nothing about food. The only reason I knew about diet is because I was really into lifting back then, and I knew about like chicken and broccoli and brown rice and like muscle
stuff.
And fitness type stuff, like bro diets. But it was still enough of a consciousness that I had to question something is off here. As that unfolded, I decided to go to dental school and I wanted to be an orthodontist.
Okay.
Right. And that's like, for me, that was admirable because my teeth were jacked up when I was young and it fucked up my confidence. So for me, I was like, So for me, I was like, okay, how can I help kids, grow into like, it's so important. And then now we're learning about respiration, breathing, proper night breathing, sleep apnea, like early onset, all because of jaw development and things like that. I probably would have loved it. Also, you have to be a genius and to go to orthodontics. Shout out to orthodontists. When I went to dental school, you have to be the top 1%. And I thought I was really smart. I was like, okay, I graduated college. I was like really good. I go into dental school, I was like middle of the pack, like average guy. And I was like, oh shit, there's like people who get like perfect scores and like fall asleep in class. I'm like, these people are geniuses. Forget that orthodontic.
You're like, that's not for me.
That's not for me. Simultaneously, my mom got diagnosed with cancer.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. And the breast cancer was really aggressive. And that's when I started really diving into that little space I had where I knew that something was off with.
And this is almost 20 years ago.
20 years ago, man. And I dove in and I was like, whoa, how are we treating cancer here? Right? We have
the best way.
Not the best way, right? And at the very least, we need integration of the modalities to help cancer patients go through, even if they go through conventional protocols,
Correct. And even, healthcare in America, as you know, we're very reactive, not proactive.
Exactly.
And it's like, well, why are all of these things starting?
Yeah. So no one ever, and I remember I would go to my mom's, her visits and I'd ask the oncologist, well, why'd she get cancer? We don't know. Genetics is all I heard. But I was like, okay, well, I don't understand that. Like then why didn't her sister get cancer? Why doesn't her sister ever get cancer? She has 4 sisters, 9 siblings, but 4 sisters, and one got cancer and my mom. So I was like, okay, something is a little bit off. And then I started diving deep. And I realized I was like, okay, there's more to sickness than we thought. There's more to cancer than we thought. There's more to healthcare in America than we thought. And this is when I decided to leave dental school and really go into naturopathic medicine.
And finding the answers. I didn't even know what naturopathic medicine was, dude. I was like helping my mom through cancer and reading books. Well, technically you did, though.
I was already kind of going into it.
But
Yeah, exactly.
the fact that you didn't know like the actual that there was
That it
but
existed.
you were doing it naturally.
Yeah, and it was a beautiful synchronicity of events that showed up, and I learned about it. And at that point, I was like, I'm going to school. I left. I started school. My mom passed away in the first year.
Sorry about that.
Thank you. And that was what drove me to go into cancer. And then I learned about oncology. I did my residency. I worked with thousands of cancer patients. And at least we were in an integrative hospital where I saw the patients going through chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery much better than the average person. They were getting out of surgery, I'm talking about, in record time. We were doing studies on how fast they were getting out of surgery.
Because they were getting both sides of the coin.
Yes, man. At the very least, we need integrative care.
Even something as simple as a hyperbaric chamber.
Right? Just for wound healing, right? There's actual studies that if a patient is in a hospital room, inpatient after surgery, and they're looking at a brick wall versus if they're looking at a field, or if they have plants, their days in the hospital are reduced. So I was just bringing up questions. Well, why don't we just bring plants for the patients? There's no study. There is studies on that, right?
They're staring at white everything.
White everything.
I remember I was in the ICU for 13 days. I wasn't allowed to get out of the bed.
Sterile.
Everyone had to put on full bunny suits to come and see me. Like, it was bad.
Oh boy.
And I'm like, dude, this is fucking depressing.
It's depressing. And we're not even talking about the food. Like the food, thank God.
I wasn't allowed to eat, so
yeah,
but I was on a liquid diet.
But the food in there.
Oh, the food in there is horrible.
Right.
And I was even on like the VIP floor back then where you get the upgraded chef. They're like, oh, you get the better bone broth. I'm like,
you get the better broth. You had bone broth. We had no bone broth, right? It was like Jello and crackers, you know what I mean? And like little Cinnabons. And it's crazy because...
And the food colorings and everything.
That's a whole nother conversation. But it really drove me to a place where I go, okay, I feel like I'm in the integrity of what I believe health and wellness to be. I'm in a field that I love, and now I can educate people. Between the education where I'm at now versus like the seeing patients and the things that I've learned and all, it's surrounded to a lot of things that I've uncovered.
It's accumulation of everything.
It's accumulation of everything. But being able to have a platform and speak to people is the most important thing for me.
Yeah, and that's how we found each other with social media, just from you showing up on other people's feeds. And I didn't even know you were on Dr. Kate's podcast, and I'm friends with her. That's how I know Andy. And it's like such a small world out there, especially in the circle we're talking about, where there's so many touches between people.
Yeah, man. But now, 20 years later, the consciousness across the board has shifted. There's people asking questions.
Yes, and unfortunately, no.
Oh, well, yeah.
In our circle, the one we're revolving around, yes. But in day-to-day life, no, unfortunately, it's not.
Maybe then I'm in a bubble where everybody wants to do better.
Yeah, you're
now.
in that special bubble.
I'm in it's a nice bubble though.
And I have a 3-year-old now, and it's like going to certain parties, seeing certain things. I'm like, I get it. Kids are gonna have sugar.
Yeah.
How about we limit the red and the blue and the yellow?
Yeah.
All right, you want to give them processed sugar? Fucking, it is what it is. But let's limit some stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough when you see that, and when you see that a lot of other countries have more strict regulations on things like, for example, food coloring, and what goes in the diets of our kids. It's wild.
I'm in Colombia twice a year for stem cells, and my daughter comes with me. I let her eat as much ice cream as she wants in that country because there is no food coloring.
No, there's not.
Like, Daddy, I want ice cream. Fine, kid. Have a small scoop, you'll be fine. It's real milk. It's all this stuff, and it's like, why don't we have that here?
Oh, no, it's different.
Like, I had Thrifty ice cream the other day, and I forgot how synthetic it was.
Well, I mean, let me tell you something. I ate all of the nasty stuff when I was little. All the ice creams. It was the good stuff, right? But nobody told us when we were eating Gushers and Fruit by the Foot. Remember that one?
I had one of those the other day.
Which one? Fruit by the Foot? They still make them?
Yeah, they still make them.
Where did you... They're still in business.
Because I got kids, bro.
Okay. Like, it's a different new world.
I'm used to like the bear ones now and like all the healthy ones. And I ate one. I was like, fuck, this thing's good. My kid's not having this.
Right? You have to hide it. I'll tell you right now. Shout out to my mom, her memory. She hid all the snacks in another drawer, but she didn't know I was so chubby and a sugar fiend that I was going to find it in the same day.
My mom didn't let us have sugar.
She didn't let it. Oh,
But now with my daughter, she's like, oh, you can have some chocolate. What the fuck? I didn't get chocolate. Why should I get chocolate?
Right.
I was like, you don't have to put her to bed. I do. She's like, so she goes to bed. I was like, Mom, she has school. We have to leave at 8.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, maybe. I was like, you already gave her the chocolate. Yeah, I'm screwed.
We're on the sugar overload, man.
Oh,
we are.
You see technology overload.
Oh, technology, a whole nother thing.
Like
man.
I was seeing how you were saying, which I'm the worst at. First thing I look at in my in the morning is my phone. But you're saying, 30 minutes to an hour
Easy, man.
of staying away from all technology.
All
And
technology.
unfortunately, we're just also connected now where it's like you have patients, I'm dealing with other people, other businesses. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, dude, you have to. I'm talking about you have to. We have too much stimulus. We have too many. The time between one image to another is too short. It's too much for our brains. We're consuming too much. Our attention span has gone down. You need that time in the morning. And this is like one of my recommendations. If I ever work with patients or clients or anything, I say, hey, just do this first hour. It makes a big difference in the day, a big difference, because you're not only letting your body wake up, you're letting your brain waves from sleep adjust to awake in its own natural form, but it's also time for yourself. Everybody has kids, right? Everybody has maybe a partner they wake up next to. Everyone's got work or something to do.
Their dog, whatever it might be.
You gotta have a little bit of time, man. It's day and night. If you do it for 2 weeks, you notice how much your brain changes and your body, your cortisol levels are changing. They're rising up slowly instead of just bursting up as soon as you open your phone. The days that I open up my phone, I open up, and I'm like, oh shit, I already start working, but I'm brushing my teeth, opening emails.
Yep.
If you're doing that, that is going to affect your brain, man.
Like for me, I removed all social media off my cell phone.
Oh, that's nice.
I got a second phone that's just for social media.
That's smart.
I don't talk on it.
That's
it is
smart.
Just for those. And dude, it cut my screen time by like 6 hours a day.
Wow.
Because, you just be, scrolling. Oh, this person has
nothing to do.
I'm like, now I forget that phone most of the time. Like since I'm doing a podcast, I bring it just to, take a couple pictures. But outside of that, I lose the thing half the time.
You know what's been a lifesaver, and I have no affiliation with them, Opal, OPAL. It's the app, you pay for it, and you talk about, how some apps are like, we locked you out of your social media, but you can override it if you just do these 5 steps.
They don't.
This one, you're done.
You're fucked.
Do you know, you're so fucked that like, by mistake, I put my Google Maps as something to shut down, and I had to go somewhere, or all my maps. I had to go old school, like map, find out how to find like to old school way, because it shut it down. I couldn't even override it. And maybe there's a secret code.
A Thomas Guide is a paper book, and you have to know where you are.
You have to know where you are. Like in the when you watch a movie that's like in the 70s and they're all in a van, they're like, dude, where are we gonna go? And
I remember the next generation of that was MapQuest. Remember where you'd print it out?
Of course, that I had a lot of.
And if you blew the turn though, you're like,
done.
Fuck.
You got to go backwards and reverse.
I remember I'd ride a motorcycle when I was younger. I would tape it to my gas tank.
Whoa.
And sometimes I'd be just jamming and I'd be like, fuck, it was 2 exits back.
And we're talking about how in cell phones in itself, driving cell phones, of course, is dangerous. But we were also driving with a map in front of our head, trying to make this turn,
and driving stick shift.
But before that, remember those days when they'd be like, okay, look, you're going to see a willow tree on the corner. It's a blue house. That was nice. I miss those days because, I really knew my surroundings.
I'm used to racing in Baja. So it's like, tree kind of leaned over with a red ribbon. Okay, that's my turn.
That's the turn. We forgot. We don't even have those mechanisms optimized.
People don't even know like where they're going now. They're so programmed off of GPS that they're like, I'm like, dude, what would you guys do? Only reason I use GPS is which route is faster.
Yeah. The technology thing we don't talk about enough, not even in this overstimulation of our brain, also the blue light that's affecting us.
Oh, yeah.
We use it all day. We see blue light, computers, phone, if you watch TV. Definitely at night when the sun goes down, people love putting on their movies and everything.
Or even just the lights in your house.
Overhead lights, all disruptive. Like, there's like, I don't like telling people spend thousands of dollars on these thousands of things in your house and then you're broke. Mm-hmm. But you may have added a year to your life, but you're broke, right? Like, but I tell people like blue blockers go a long way.
Or like setting up your iPhone so
you could do it
where at 6 p.m. it automatically turns red.
Yeah, you can automatically turn it red, even at that. But like,
costs you nothing.
It costs you nothing, right? It's just a hack. You go on Google and you look at it.
Yep.
So there's certain things you can do that, yes, really help your brain states, your brain waves, your hormones, your cortisol in the morning.
Do you even watch TV?
I do. Really? Because I'm a cinephile. I love movies, man.
I love movies, but honestly, there's nothing really that
good. They're not, yeah, but well, let me tell you something. There's some good shows out there.
See, that's dangerous. I'll stay up all night.
Listen.
So I won't watch any show.
I know. But I love something that's riveting because I love the art of acting, the lighting, the soundtracks. I love to see them like, oh, that's not convincing me. That's convincing. Oh, and that writing that's the way I look at movies and shows. So I do. There's there's a show called Presumed Innocent with Jake Gyllenhaal. Shout out to people who know that. My God, man, it's juicy. It's like, did he kill his colleague, his coworker? I don't know. Maybe not. So I do, but you better believe I got the blue blockers on by 9:30, 10. Last show. Doesn't matter, even if it's done. I don't push it, and I'm in bed upstairs.
Okay.
I have hard boundaries around it.
No TV in your room.
No TV in my room. That's downstairs.
I got one in my room, but I never turn it on.
You never turn it on.
It looks cool. Like when I have my kid, she's like, I give her 45 minutes a day. I'm like, all right, pick your show.
So you have kids. You give them 45 minutes a day on the iPad, on the TV total, or what does it look
total like? Screen. Well, that's a trick statement. Total watching anything animated, 45 minutes to an hour. Okay. On the iPad, I have a bunch of drawing apps. There's no anything else on there because I got tired of her drawing on my shit.
Okay, great. But so how do you turn off the screen stuff after 45 minutes?
I redirect. Let's go play with the dog. Let's go do something else. Let's go. Redirect. People get mad. I put her on my electric motorcycle. We go for a ride through the neighborhood.
Right.
We go to the park. Like, it's now, my kid loves to be outside. If you give her the opportunity to be outside, she forgets about everything. And like when we were kids, dude, be outside all day long.
Oh, those days, man.
Like even when Nintendo 64 was around, we'd play it for a little bit. Oh no, let's go ride our bikes.
We don't play it all day. Yeah. The bikes were actually fun.
Way more fun.
The graphics got better, and then we stayed in more and more.
A little bit, but like once PS2 came out, I was done. I was like,
but we weren't playing video games anymore.
I'd rather be outside riding my dirt bike, doing dumb shit, ending up in the hospital, whatever it might be. And my daughter's just like, no, let's go outside. This kid goes butt naked. I'm like, dude, you want to jump in the pool? It's 40 degrees. Let's see how long you last.
I can't wait to have kids, man. I feel really ready, and I feel in my balance as a man, ready to have kids. And it's been many years that I've been working on that.
See that bubble you're in? It's gonna get some holes in it.
100%. And I see my friends, man.
And then you're gonna be like, fuck, we can't do this, do that, or like you try and limit this, and then the schooling thing comes.
Dude, I already thought about like those health
start
things.
Looking for pods now, bro.
I know. I got if you know any good parenting ones, that's on the horizon at some point. But
I actually do know one that you can actually set up your own, and they will provide the teacher, and you just have to provide the location.
That's amazing.
And it's the same price, 1 student or 6 students.
I think about that. I think about like, it's crazy. It's like they're gonna go to school. They're gonna learn a certain thing. How indoctrinated is it going to be?
Well, you're an NP, and I don't want to get this video flagged, but there's certain things schools require now that I know you're not going to do.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even. Yeah, exactly.
And so, you want your kid to go to public school, private school? In California, there's no exemptions. The only way around it is you make your own school, which is fully
people
possible.
Do that. People do that.
Or you create a pod, and people think, oh, homeschooling's just this kid and the teacher. No, I know people that have 10 students at somebody's house, or they rented a place. Wow. And they've created their own environment where the kids are playing outside. Us as being men, like, we weren't designed to sit at a desk all day long.
No.
And school over the last 60 years looks identical. When you're working, I'm sure you're bouncing around the house, talking on the phone.
100%.
I don't care if you're seeing 50 patients
walking
a day.
Everywhere.
You're everywhere. You got your headphones in, but you're still working. You're getting your job done, and you're probably doing it to a better percentage. Versus if you were stuck at a desk all day or in a clinical setting, do you think you'd feel you were as productive or could give your patients as good of a value? And the same thing goes to schooling, in my opinion. Why are we locked into a bubble? Real life is you're not doing that every day.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Other things are going on in the background. You're not just solely focused on this, well, in this situation, but when you're on the phone with patients, an email popped up. Oh, this emergency popped up. Okay, I got to separate for a second. And that's real life. Yeah. School's teaching you stay focused on that one item, whether it's an hour or 2 hours. I forget how long we were in classes, like that specific class for. I'm like, that's just not a reality.
Yeah, it's not, man.
When I want to go to the bathroom, I want to raise my hand, go take a leak. Like, why do I need permission from that person?
Yeah.
And it's just, everybody's become so normal to it. And with you thinking outside the box, and now I'm sure I've even opened up certain thoughts in your head about it. It's like, oh shit, well, that's something else I have to plan for.
Yeah, man. It's funny because it's like I have my bubble, but like the realities are like you have to adjust based on what's happening in your state and your community. It's wild. And even like food, right? Like I'm never going to be able to control fully like what my kid is eating at a friend's house or a friend of a friend's house
You
or in
can
school
limit.
or at an event. You can limit, right? What they're being exposed to at home for the most part. Um, but yeah, no, still at that, I feel really good and I feel ready for that.
No, and
After so
it's
many
an
years.
adventure and it's a fun adventure and it's always learning and evolving and finding ways to go around it. And then since I have a kid, like my feed probably looks a little different than yours. And the new like at home jungle gyms where they're like turning a whole room into a jumpy house and fucking
Yeah.
monkey bars and ropes. I'm like, dude, that's genius. And these kids are staying in it for hours at a time.
And they're just playing all day,
They're just
moving
playing
their
all day.
body.
And you like my daughter started a pod recently and the other parents were like, how's your daughter so strong? I was like, I have a 6 foot tall jungle gym in my living room.
Oh, that's cool.
They're like, what do you mean? I was like, it's in my living room. Like my kid's been climbing it since she was 1.5.
Wow.
She used to think it was hilarious to climb to the top and pee. I'm like, and they're like, how's she have so much strength? I'm like, she's a monkey, dude.
Yeah,
She's
she's
like,
a monkey. She's moving.
she's moving. She wants to climb on everything. Like now she knows to take the chair, push it to get to where she wants to go.
Yeah, and she's not sedentary, man. Like,
No, and like
that's the thing.
my friends are like, dude, you just let her dive off of stuff. One way to find out.
Yeah.
You can tell a little kid no. She's still gonna do it.
Yeah, that's true.
We were at the jump house yesterday. I don't know if I jump off that. You might get stuck. She got stuck.
She got stuck,
I was like, come here.
but she want to learn.
She wanted to learn.
And that's the. I just had a guy on my podcast, and he was talking about, his name's Adiyemi, and he was talking about how we have all these expectations of like what we want our parenting to look like, and we have all these goals, and
I had that book.
we had that book, right? Wait, is
No, I'm meaning I made,
oh, like the book?
I know the book
because he
and
was
I'm
talking about a parenting book too. Anyway, and he was saying like we also have to be able to be taught by our kids and be present with the kids and know that we're evolving too with our children, rather than having a set goal of like, this is how parenting looks, this is how and if it's not like this in this moment, then it's like a black and white failure, right? Whereas like we're moving in flow with each momentary learning that we have from the kid. And I know probably your daughter has taught you so much of that. You thought you wanted to do all these things and you got humbled, or
and she's learned like the disconnect. Get off your phone.
yeah.
What's so important? And like now I run the wire through my shirt and just pop in the earbud so I can take a phone call and she doesn't really know that I'm on the phone. But I'll be walking around with her and everything. But like now I find myself, oh, I'm not even going to send a text right now. Let me just focus.
Yeah.
And since I'm split, like I have limited time, I have to cherish every moment I have. And I'm like, my friend's like, oh, just get a babysitter. No, like
You want to be involved.
I want to
like
be
that.
involved as much
Yeah.
as I can. And same thing at school this morning. Like I was like, oh, I have the podcast. All right, I can stay in class for 20 minutes before I got to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, being involved and really learning. Certain things just aren't that important.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
That's
don't
true.
need the latest and greatest shoes and shirts and nonsense. Like my kid changes her outfit 5 times a day. All right, Target outfits for $5 work great because
Yeah.
half of them go in the trash every
Yeah,
day.
that's true. It's a depth of relationship, right?
Yeah.
Like I work with a lot of women, especially in the emotional release healing that I do. And consistently, the biggest wound they say is that my dad was emotionally unavailable. Consistently. And it is one of the deepest pains that they're carrying, because they never got to feel safe enough to express the depth of their sadness or anger to their dad, because their dad couldn't hold his own sadness or anger. And it's by virtue of that created the disconnect, at least from a heart-centric emotional connection.
Which I also feel with social media probably compounded that problem now.
Yeah. So when we see these women process this pain, their heart opens up. And especially for men, man, when men come, 9 out of 10 will say heart protected. They're in their power, but their heart is protected because they've at some point in their life lost the belief and understanding that being in your heart is your true power, right? Like connecting to it. So opening the heart of a man in the emotional release work is, to me, the most beautiful moment. That, and when a woman finds her anger. When a woman finds her anger and a man finds his heart and the sadness in it, are the two most beautiful like things that I witness as a practitioner. And to see that, like a dad open his heart, I know that forever his relationship has changed with his kids, but especially his daughter.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then the daughter learns, this is what I deserve. I deserve nothing less than a man to show up like a heart open, heart centric father who's grounded in his heart. And that's the man that I want. And it's a beautiful example without even words. It's just an embodied example of what a man is. And that for me, like that's the craziest work that I've seen.
Oh yeah. And everybody's like, oh, things are going to change when you have a girl. I was like, no, it's not. And then I had her and I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, I'm a daredevil. And they're like, you're still going to continue racing? Yeah. The other day, they're like, it's my daughter's birthday last week. And they're like, you want to come to a race? I do, but I don't want to get in the race car.
Yeah. You got the adrenaline maybe went down a little bit.
It's still there, but it's, calculated risk.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, is there any cliffs at this race?
Right. Avoid the cliffs.
Avoid the cliffs. I'll take the,
You'll take the
stuff.
tree. You'll take the tree with the ribbon.
And so it's just kind of funny to watch and see.
Beautiful.
You talk about a lot of toxins in daily life. Like I saw one today about the red wine. Why is that so bad for people? And why do most normal doctors say you can have a glass every day?
For many years, I spoke a lot about things that we're exposed to that people weren't speaking about in health and wellness. Really, not many people were speaking about environmental medicine. Now, a lot more. It was just me and another doctor, Dr. Vivian, Plateful Health. She's a colleague of mine, and we really love talking about like what's in your home, what you're consuming. And now more people are talking about it, which is great. I want that. But essentially, conventional medicine has overlooked environmental exposures because when you do a study on a toxin, it's in a vacuum. So one toxin, and it looks like this, at this dose, will do this. But we completely miss everything else about it because there's no one toxin floating around coming out of your couch or your bed. Nope. Or in your makeup or in your it's lotion, right? It's compounded. It's multiple chemicals. We don't even know how many of them interact synergistically. Also, some of these chemicals at a low dose have no effect, and then they get higher.
If you
compound it, it's different. Also, some of these chemicals past that low dose, even lower doses than the dose that we know doesn't do anything, all of a sudden there's another peak where it does, like BPA, for example. Even at ultra low doses will have endocrine disrupting effects. And then it goes down as it goes a little bit higher. Acts really weird. It's called a monotonic dose response. And then it gets higher again, as you'd expect. So it's two little peaks versus one. And what I'm trying to say is that environmental medicine is really important for us to hold to a high standard, especially in medicine, because in conventional medicine, we don't value the toxin exposures the way we should. Compounded and the ones that really can build up and bioaccumulate in the body, like heavy metals. These are things that they say, the dose makes the poison, but it doesn't. Like the dose, it compounds, right? The dose makes the poison is such a myopic view of looking at toxins. You have to think about, things bioaccumulate in the body. So for example, heavy metals that you may get in coffee, you may get in chocolate, right? You're going to get exposed to it in makeup, walking outside, breathing it in, right? So the question is, it's like, we're going to be exposed to stuff. How do you reduce that? So I think everyone can benefit from thinking about their home. Okay, well, we have a bed. I just bought this bed. I can't throw it away. So, okay, put it on your list of maybe when you can invest over time to get a more quality bed. Why? Because we're laying on it. It off gases.
You spend
a lot of time. You're right. Actually, so much of your life.
One of those brands that's the horsehair one.
Oh, whoa. You got the bougie one. Congratulations. That's a nice one. So, but a lot of these beds, they have fiberglass. They have a flame retardant.
Everybody wants like the Tempur-Pedic.
Tempur-Pedic's the worst. Oof. The polyurethane is the worst beds you can get. Any foam beds, those are the worst. And I'm not trying to be an alarmist here. It's just for us to be aware. If you have that, and I did when I was in school, it would behoove you to start thinking about what other bed. But it's not just bed. It's like, okay, also deodorant, right? Makeup, the lotions that you put on your body, definitely fragrances. If you're putting in Glade plugins and you got a Yankee candle and you're spraying all this cologne and perfume.
Are you cool with essential oils?
Essential oils, yeah. Not all of them can be aromatized.
Okay.
Some of them
Cannot.
can't, right? Some of them actually could be harmful. So you have to be aware of that. But, you know, like when we want to, our laundry, all these things that make our things smell synthetically good have a cumulative response in the body. They bioaccumulate, they affect our hormones. So if someone's listening, they go, man, my hormones are off, my thyroid's off, my estrogen, my testosterone.
What are you inputting?
My cortisol. Yeah. I have acne. I have cyst on my breasts, fibroids in my uterus. These are all, this is a hormonal disruption in the body. What's going on? So we have to think about, well, if my doctor can't find out, I'm eating really well, nothing's going on, they want to recommend these things. What about your home? Very, very important to talk about.
Especially a brand new build home.
A brand new build home,
or like a new apartment building you just moved into.
Get an air purifier. Get an ultra HEPA air purifier. Just get one of those. There's so many in the industry right now. At the very least, that's going to start cleaning things out.
And I have no affiliation. I like the rabbit air because it's a 6-stage.
6-stage. So you got yourself a cleaner. It's cleaning out, right? Open your windows. Mm-hmm. I open it every single day. You know, and then start avoiding those synthetic fragrances that make all your things smell good. Hell no. This is, if I ever had an OCD, it is shoes in the house.
You got to lay on your bed though, wearing the clothes you're wearing, right?
Absolutely not.
Right. So we're on the same page.
We're on the same, but my girlfriend thinks that's a little much. But I say no outside clothes on the bed.
I also shower before I lay in bed.
I always shower. Okay, you and me are the same, man. I'm telling you right now. I
grew up in an Indian household though.
You did.
So no shoes. Like you could leave shoes right inside of the front door, and that's it.
Okay, you see, they had it right though. A study showed heavy metals, feces, multiple bacteria, pesticides, and herbicides. This is what the study showed on the bottom of your shoe. It accumulates throughout time the more you walk into the house with shoes on. Mm-hmm. And it's something as simple as just removing your shoes. And it's crazy because sometimes I have friends just walk right in my house. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. You know?
Well, I have people like look at me funny. I'm like, leave your fucking shoes.
The shoes, they got to come off.
Or like they'll come in my room, want to check it out, and want to sit on. What are you doing? My bed.
I got the furniture guys, they put the booties on and everything. The maintenance guys, they put on the booties. You know, look. The outside clothes on the bed, maybe that's a little much. Okay, but
is it though?
I don't know. For me, my bed is a sacred sanctuary. It is the cleanest thing in the world.
You're fucking on it.
Yeah, that's it. It's only made for sleep and sex. That's it.
That's all. You shouldn't be eating it. You
nobody
be
eating
in it.
And no outside clothes rolling around in it.
Yep.
So
like my daughter tries, I'm like, nope, come back here.
It's funny because my girlfriend said, "Oh, well, wait till we have kids and we see how the beds go."
Like all stripper, like get all of her clothes on.
Yeah.
Like all right, fine. Like,
yeah. So you look. Let's just think about the small interventions we can make first, right? If you're using Glade plugins, don't. If you want to use essential oils, that's a better alternative.
No shoes in the house.
No shoes in the house. Easy. Open your windows. Put on an air purifier. When it comes to laundry, get a cleaner laundry detergent.
Yeah, what is it, that Ecos?
You can go to Ecos, go to the environmental working group. They got a whole list of ones you can use, or go to Whole Foods, or go to Air One, go to Rainbow Acres if you're here. Go to Sprouts. They're all going to offer better than Tide, better than Downy.
Yep.
So these
are or whatever.
Small interventions that go a long way. Think about your cookware. If you're cooking in Teflon,
slowly replace.
It's
plastic Tupperware versus glass Tupperware.
Exactly. You know, you already got the codes, man. But this is easy. These are things that we can
adding. Fulvic drops to your water every day to help you flush some of it.
Support your liver. Now we're talking about, because we're going to be exposed to all this stuff. Liver support, beet, dandelion, cruciferous vegetables, dark leafy greens. How can you get this in your diet? Okay, maybe in a juice. Maybe you put it in a salad. Maybe you put it in a soup. Maybe you just put it as a side with dinner. Start moving.
And it's the simple little tweaks that aren't like, you're not breaking the bank. And we're not telling people to go out and drop $1,000 today.
Exactly.
Add this one supplement, milk thistle.
Milk thistle.
What's it cost you? 3 cents a day?
Yeah.
And it's just all of these little things stacked up really help detox the body.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to poop. For those of you out there who ain't pooping, viewers and listeners, you ain't pooping, this is big. You need to poop. You're moving hormones, you're moving toxins. You got to poop. The other day, someone said, I went to the doctor and they said, no, every 3 days is fine. Every 3 days is not fine.
No, that's not good.
You got to poop. And that may mean you need magnesium. 70% of us don't have enough magnesium.
Which affects your mood, your hormones, and everything.
Exactly. Your muscle, your brain. So get yourself an absorbable form of magnesium that's going to help your body, but also help your poop. Magnesium oxide will stay right in the gut, and that'll just be exclusively for constipation. But you also want the benefits in the body too. So you can get like a glycinate or magnesium citrate. Those are powerful. That really helps most of the people. Eating more fiber, but upping that slowly, maybe 5 grams per week.
Or even just adding a scoop at night.
Adding a scoop at night, right? Or just moving your body after meals. Minor changes. How much is all of this, right? Like $20 for a bottle of magnesium.
Yeah, and that lasts between 1 and 2 months, depending on
1 and 2 months, depending how much you take it.
And you don't have to go to Air One and get the cream of the crop.
Like, you
don't get obviously the shit bottom, but you know, there's
just
stuff.
Get yourself some.
Go on Amazon, $10-15, like nothing crazy.
Yeah, but please, like, prioritize pooping, and you'll feel better. You'll get that detox, support the liver, pee, sweat, workout, get your sweat going. These are all things that are gonna counterbalance all the stuff that we're exposed to, not only in our home. We can have a perfect home, then we go outside, that's a whole nother story, especially those of us who live here. Yeah, exactly.
Like, I ride motorcycles some days, I'm sucking exhaust.
You're sucking exhaust, and if you're with other people, right under the helmet, right into your nose, right into your lungs.
Or, you know, I'm a big 2A advocate, and I play with a lot of, you know, that type of stuff. Lead, gunpowder, it's like...
Yeah. We don't even think about, like, what's in kids' toys and the mats they play on and all this stuff.
Oh, and they put everything in their mouth.
Oh, I know. I think about that. But pound for pound, kids, you know, they're being exposed to the most amount of stuff. So we really want to make sure, okay,
that you're giving them the extra supplements. Like I'm putting the Fulvic drops, I'm putting the BCAAs in her drinks. Like,
good.
I'm giving her all the stuff. Just like, obviously, you can't take a pill, but you know, doing the best I can with
supporting her body. But like, if you're spraying pesticides, if you're spraying Roundup in your backyard, and your kid is rolling around in the backyard, or your dog or your cat, that's a problem. That's a big problem.
That's also an interesting topic in itself. Like, I have a Doberman. My last one, you know, got cancer towards the later part of his life. I'm like, what changed? It's like, oh, maybe it was the pesticides in the neighborhood. Because I'm a big fan of feeding animals raw. Yeah, that's how they grew up, and my dog never goes to the vet.
So they didn't have the kibble. That's good.
And it's just, everybody's like, well, why do you feed your dog such expensive food? I'd rather feed him expensive food than pay a $4,000 vet bill once a year.
It's true. I had Rodney Habib. He's a big, he's got one of the biggest platforms for pet health. He came on my show years ago, and he said the two things that are leading to cancer for dogs and cats is that the kibble and the pesticides, right?
And don't forget
the medications and
the flea and tick. Like, the flea and tick stuff. It is legit a pesticide.
Yeah, they put around their neck.
But you can go put diatomaceous earth. You can take diatomaceous earth every day. And it's just all of these other little things, essential oils. Like, there's other alternatives.
How to protect them. So, you know, look, I love dogs. I don't have one, but I love dogs. Yeah. And I love cats too. Take care of them, right? Think about the space. Again, environmental medicine. What is the backyard? Is your person next to you? Do they have the perfect lawn? It's always green. You might want to know what they're spraying.
You might want to know what's in it.
Yeah, you might want to know what's happening, because you better believe that thing gets in your backyard. This is why community awareness is important.
A lot of people have their pets on their bed. Well, what is your animal getting exposed
to? Man, Rodney, when Rodney quoted, there was a study that said your pet may be giving you cancer. People got mad at that because... are they bringing in those pesticides? And actually they measured it.
Well, don't forget, if you're putting whatever on their back for flea and tick, what do you think that just
all up on your bed, all up on your couch, all up on your rug, and then your kids roll around in it, right?
Yep.
So we just need to take one meta view a little bit and think about what's our home look like, how the interactions look like. It only takes 30 minutes of your day to think, not every day, just 30 minutes in a day to go, okay, what's my home look like? What's my yard look like? My neighbor's yard. This isn't, I know your doctor's not talking about this, but we're talking about years, maybe 10 years from now, they will be. We're giving you the 10 years heads up right now on the podcast. Like, think about your home, think about your backyard, think about what your kids and your animals are being exposed to, because ultimately you, your kids and your animals, you know, we want to take care of all of them, right? And we can do that by optimizing our surroundings.
Simple yet complicated.
Simple yet complicated, man. It's a slow process.
Wait, but you didn't answer my wine question.
The wine. Oh my God. We're going into alcohol. That's right. See, this is what happens. I get so passionate. I get on these damn tangents.
We go down a rabbit hole.
Oh my God. So many years ago, we in medicine said, okay, a few glasses of alcohol and wine a week are okay. You're good to go. maybe 3 or 4, and that kind of gave justification. And then came the whole antioxidants piece, right? Oh, it has antioxidants.
Yep.
It's good for me. The resveratrol.
Yep. I actually heard a doctor say that to someone the other day.
That's not true. Do you know how little resveratrol we get? We need hundreds of glasses of wine to get the real therapeutic dose of, a capsule of resveratrol we get in like a pill, which actually does something for our body. But recently, over the last 2 years, more studies have come out showing that really no dose of alcohol is safe, particularly for the brain. Most importantly for the brain. Every dose, every exposure we have to alcohol will affect the brain on some level, and it's cumulative throughout life. So every drink we say yes to over life affects our brain, and then ultimately our hormones, predisposes us to 7 different types of cancer. It is the intervention, pretty much aside from like the food that we're eating, pretty much in smoking, that we have so much power over that makes a massive difference to our health.
So are you a fan of, you're young, you live in LA, like, are you a fan of no drinking? Or if you do drink, you might just have tequila or something else? Like,
look,
is there a happy medium somewhere?
If you're suffering with health issues, no drinking. That's what I say. If you're suffering with any health issues, because that is going to be one of the biggest forest fires in the body against what you're doing. Like, you taking a protocol of supplements is like you throwing like an 8-ounce mason jar of water into a house that's burning. It ain't going to do anything. You have to stop the house burning, first of all. If you have health issues, number one, and I'm talking about like if you're not feeling good in your body, not necessarily outward health issues, like I've been diagnosed with it. No, if you don't feel good every single day, the drinking, that's the first thing.
What if someone has like a benign mass?
A benign mass?
Yeah.
Like just like a big cyst?
Somewhere in their body.
I mean, then I would test. What if I stop drinking in 3 months? How's it going to look? What's happening in my body? Look, there's no one that ever said, I stopped drinking, I feel so much worse. Unless they're an alcoholic, right?
Touche.
Most people are going, oh, I feel so much better, right? Look, I understand that it is ingrained in part of our social culture. It's in the fabric of what we do.
I've essentially been sober my whole life.
Yeah, and it's good for you.
It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, and I will say this, like, it's ingrained in our culture. We go out, we go out with friends, we go to bars.
Oh, I go out everywhere and they're like, oh, have a drink. I don't drink. Oh, I have a drink anyways. I don't need it, dude.
And then what's wrong with you? Your friend might be like, you all right? So, and look, shout out to the people who have made that decision and unfortunately had to explain sometimes, no, I just choose not to drink. Well, is everything okay with you? Oftentimes it's like that internal discomfort that's projected back. It's really hard to be in your highest health, mentally, physically, and certainly emotionally if you're drinking, especially if it's a cover up for anything that you're trying to run away from. I will say, you should challenge yourself and go, how would tonight be if I didn't drink? Do I need alcohol to up-level my authenticity? Do I need alcohol to finally be comfortable in my own body because I'm insecure about my own body? I'm insecure about my dancing. I'm insecure about the way how loud I want to be because I'm holding back all these parts of me. Alcohol in many ways is a gift too because it's a truth serum. A lot of the time when people get
being like essentially sober, I'm like, oh, I saw you drunk. I would never want to hang out with you.
Right. It's a truth serum, right? Like we see, at least from me and working the emotional realm of things, if someone starts really getting drunk and they start expressing all the sadness that's not in there, I'm like, oh, there you go. Like that's your inhibitions, your egoic part of you that's protecting you moves away and really that exposure is revealed. How many of us know that person who gets drunk, they get really sad and they start crying? Or the person who gets really drunk and they get angry and they want to break stuff and they want to fuck the cops. I'm so mad,
Yep.
Or the person who has so much sexual energy when they're drunk and they're repressing that sexual energy because they're so in shame of it.
Yep.
You see, like that is a truth serum in itself. And can we allow ourselves to embody those parts of us without fear in a healthy way instead of using alcohol to release that internal energy, right? That's so held in through the week that we have to do that. On top of that, are we drinking alcohol because it's just the thing that gives us that release of that stress and tension because we're so unhappy with our lives? We're so not in our purpose. I had Anita Morjani. She came to the show. She's someone who had a NDE, near-death experience. She had the whole experience of death. She spoke to her ancestors. It was wild, that show, one of my favorite ones. And she said, she came back with this: we are sick almost exclusively because we are not in our purpose. Our soul's not in purpose. Our body's suffering. We get sick. We die. So how many of us are in our purpose? Or are we just working to work to make this amount of money that we think we need to make? And then we go drink on the weekends because we need to release all that stress of how truly unhappy we are.
Well, the part I find hilarious just on the weekend topic, you own your own business. You see patients probably 300 days a year. Is the weekend really the weekend?
I don't know. I mean, there's always something to do.
There's always something to do, and everybody's like, oh, it's Friday. I have to fuck off and just enjoy. And I'm like, but why not build where every day is enjoyable? Why do you have to wait till the weekend and just go balls to the wall? And that's the part where I feel like we've lost.
And that's a collective right now. That's most of us. Or that's how we're living our lives, right? The work to the release, the work to the release. And it's like this disproportionate repression of energy and expression of energy. We have to find a true balance and really start questioning, like, when I walk into work, the people that are around me, the purpose that I'm doing, what I'm embodying, what I'm expressing, is it in alignment with what I'm here to do? Most people, unfortunately, the answer is going to be no, it's not in alignment. Okay, so then what parts of me are repressed and held back and not expressed such that I'm so disconnected from my purpose? The more you allow yourself without fear to express who you are, whether it's in your movement, in your dance, in your song, in your artistry, and what you wear, and how you speak to the people you love, the more you embody that, the more your purpose starts becoming more and more clear. We're disconnected from our purpose. We're sick. I want people to connect back to their purpose so they don't need to repress all that energy and go drink and party and black out and do all these crazy things on the weekend. Shit, that was me, I know, but I wasn't in my purpose. I was in my pain, you know? I was just running away from the deep sadness of my mom's death. I didn't want to cry that death. I didn't want to cry her sadness. I didn't want to be angry over it. So what did I do? I just let that energy out through drinking, through partying, through sounds, through sex, through everything. It was crazy. The truth of the matter is that, like, I wasn't in my purpose. I was unhappy, but I needed to be in my purpose by seeing all the pain that I was holding. Once I saw that, then everything started unfolding. And it's not just me. This is just what I find with the people I work with. Yeah, it's not just like my own anecdote. I hope it aligns with people who are living that life in that way. But to understand, we are so much more powerful than that, man. We're not here.
Yeah, we don't need it.
We don't need it.
And I understand why people use it, and it's no judgment. It's just you had to get to your awakening.
Yeah, for sure.
I have my own reasoning for why I never even went down the road. It was just I had the awakening without needing it.
Yeah.
And, you know, you living in LA, like, weed is also a big thing.
Big thing.
What's your feelings on that?
Again, it's the same thing. How are we using? I would say probably 1% use it therapeutically. Like, I'm going to take 2 hits and then meditate and connect to some deeper parts of me. Or I'm going to take 2 hits and become very artistic and creative. Most people are using it to numb themselves, to turn off, right? To repress. And like these things, look, like there's tribes that use alcohol, that they take shots before a ceremony, right? And they just get into some space, a spirit space. There's therapeutics behind everything, right? When I was in the jungles in Ecuador with the Sapara tribe, they use tobacco, and we smoke it. We use the tobacco juice and put up our nose and snort it, and it brings us in another world. It's like that shit was gnarly too.
Sounds wilder than DMT.
But, right? Yeah, but like they use all these things, but none of us are using it therapeutically. None of us are using intentionally, ceremonially. Let's be real with each other, right? Like, why are we doing these things, and why are we so afraid to embody who we truly are? And people are like, well, who am I? Well, who are you if there was no boundaries? Who are you if you weren't judged by your mom, dad, your friends, your partner, your whoever it is? Who are you truly? What do you wear? What do you sound like? How many people, my God, you don't know the amount of people I've met. They're like, I used to love singing when I was a kid, and then someone told me I had a really bad voice. That means something in your health. That means something in your physical health. It could be that your physical health issues are due to you not expressing yourself, even through song, even through dance, even through artistry. You have a kid, I'm sure she's always creating. Always, right?
And I don't. Keep going.
Keep going. You don't repress her. You don't tell her, oh, this is good. It could be better. You let her express from her soul. This is the juice of life. And this is what we're disconnected from. This is why we feel so fucking depressed, because we're so disconnected from that part of us that is us, that true inner self, that child within us. Everybody, every adult you see who's like all serious and they have a suit on and they're on, they're you know, they're, and I'm doing this and I'm raising this money. They just want to play, man. They want to be happy. They want to be seen for who they are. This is the space we have to hold for people. Truly, if you love someone, you're going to hold space for them and say, I love you. I'm going to hold space for you to be who you are. I ain't going to judge you. If you sing and you have the worst voice, I'll sing with you. If you dance and you have the worst dancer, I'll dance with you. That's what people need. They need to be safe in expressing who they are. That's the remedy for physical health, mental for sure, depression, anxiety. There's your remedy, right? And anything else we're looking for, deep relationships with our partner, deep relationship with our family, all of us just want to be seen for who we are. We're in pain because we're not being seen. That's it.
Yeah, I saw a funny thing the other day. Remember how much more we were connected when phones were connected to a wall?
Yeah, it's true.
Because then you had the distance from a person. There's no check-ins. Hey, I miss you. I love. They left at whatever time. They came back at whatever time. If they were late, they were late.
Yeah.
And then you talk about it when they get home.
Yeah.
And now, since there's so many touches, it's just not as quality.
Mm-hmm. Which
different. Then leads to everything you just discussed.
Yeah. Yeah. We feel that complete isolation. It's funny because we have the connection and we feel isolated.
I can email you, text you, whatever.
Crazy.
But to have a conversation like this for an hour without any cell phones, no distractions, this doesn't really happen anymore.
Well, this is something that we're implementing. Me and my partner, like, she's so good, man. Zero phones. She doesn't have Instagram, which is crazy.
That's a unicorn.
It's a unicorn. I got protecting her, right? I thought it was like sociopathic to me, and I was like, okay, well, what's wrong with you, right? But the truth is, what are you hiding? I'm like trying to research her. I'm like, what is she hiding? And the truth is, it's like, it's inspired me to be more present as a man. And this is the feminine wants that presence from a man. Like, you're here. Mm-hmm. You're not here emotionally or thinking about work or thinking about, they want full presence because that gives them safety, and they open up themselves in safety, like their heart. Like, it's been the most beautiful thing because she's inspired me to understand that the phone doesn't have to be part of our relationship. It is when I have to work, but when it's
nice
done,
to go to dinner and leave the phones on the
floor. My God. I don't even put it on the table because the energy of that. I say, keep it in your bag. We put it in the bag. Sometimes I keep it in the car, and we leave that energetic flow open because that's a disruptor. That's like a rock in the middle of a river, right? So I have a love-hate relationship with my phone. Work, I love you. Relationships are getting in the way. You know what I mean? Like, who cares about this cat video that I need to show you for the 10th time, you know?
Yeah, and that's how I communicate with some of my friends. I just send funny ass videos.
But like, I like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
they're like, yo, check this out.
But I've attracted someone who's like not super into that. So I'm like, okay, well, how else do I connect with this person? But it's crazy that we're speaking about in this time.
You're going back to when we were kids.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy that in this time, in my head, I thought we would have to connect by watching TikTok videos and Instagram reel funny things.
I don't even know how to use TikTok. I let somebody else run it because I'm
like,
get out of here.
Right. But like, the truth of the matter is like, oh yeah, we can actually connect without phones. You know, we sat down the other day in the front yard and we had a real conversation about real stuff and hearts, and we go on walks all the time that don't involve technology. It's like, my God, if like you're in a relationship and you're not happy and you're using your phone just to like make the day go by, that's a problem. That's a problem. Like you and I say, it's a big problem.
And I think like what podcasting has taught me in the last 2 years is just truly being in the moment, in the conversation. And I've met some amazing people doing it.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. It's like, sounds really complicated, but it's not. Just disconnect from the bullshit.
Disconnect from the bullshit and really connect with someone. Like, people can feel if you're present, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can feel. They
My
can
kid
feel.
can feel if I'm present.
Oh, they're the most sensitive
Daddy,
to it.
pay attention.
They're the most sensitive. Why? Because they're so present.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the embodied brainwave state of like presence, pure presence. She can look at a cricket for 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
We look at a cricket, we just walk by it.
Which is what she did last night.
Which was what she did last night, right? But like, they're hyper present on the experience of what it means to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's the reminders we need.
That's the reminders we need. And she's expressing emotion without that filtration, without shame, right? She cries. You see her angry.
She cried when I left her at school this morning.
You see her angry, right? She gets really, right? Ooh,
feisty
that feisty little, right? What happened where we as adults disconnected to that? And this is very important. Like, I'm not a parent, but like, we got to be aware that like children are very sensitive to saying like, you're a big girl now, you don't cry anymore. You're a big boy now, you don't cry anymore. Or little girls or big girls don't get angry like that anymore. Can we nurture their emotions, keep them open in a state of you're allowed to express, but also understand that like, if she's angry when she's an adult, she can't throw a hissy fit at work.
Can't throw a rock at you.
Right. And she can't freak out at work. But also, she can move that energy in a healthy way. And this is what I always tell parents. It's like, anger is the big thing. Anger's massive repression in children. They learn around the age of 7, 8 to start repressing anger. It's into their adulthood. They start people pleasing and they become these type of people, right? But having a space where they can see that mom and dad can express anger in a healthy way. That means, okay, honey, daddy's really mad right now because of something that happened, but he's not mad at you. But he's going to go into the anger room or the anger closet or the anger corner and express. She has to be able to see that the intensity of expression of your voice and the really, what you know, when someone's angry, we feel that. Everyone gets really quiet in the office or something. Yep. If there's a freak out. She has to be able to feel that that's safe and comfortable, because that'll allow her and emphasize that she can keep doing it as she's older. So now she learns when she gets older in school, I'm really mad. She comes home, I'm really mad, Dad. I still have a lot of, oh, come on, honey, let's go to the corner. I'll do it with you. That's such a healthy way of keeping your child open in the expression of anger, because I promise you, I've seen too many women. That's the number one thing in women is the anger is so deeply repressed, and it's causing gut health issues, thyroid issues, inflammatory issues like acne, skin issues. It's one of the things, it's fire inside the body, basically. It's causing inflammation everywhere. It's usually because people are so angry. That's the work that I love doing.
That's a great way to end the podcast.
Thank you, man.
Where can people find you?
We have Heal Thyself podcast. That is my thing. We're on episode 305. I've been doing this forever.
Damn.
And I love doing it. I love guests. I love knowledge bombs. We have emotional healing, www.elm.health. I'm teaching people how to do the modality that I've created that involves every single thing that opens up the body to release years. I'm talking, this is 20 years of therapy in one session. It's, I promise you, the craziest thing.
I might have to do this.
Bro, it's open for you. It's like full, deep emotional exorcisms, and the results are incredible. Thyroid issues gone, gut health issues gone, and I'm not saying curing, because I can't say that. Me taller. But just people are in a better space. We'll just say that. And those are the two things that I'm really, really proud of right now. And check me out on Instagram, Dr. Gonzalez, DOCTOR.Gonzalez. I'll be dancing. I'm rapping. I put in good health stuff. I put in educational stuff too, but it's really an expression of me.
I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you very much.